How about now? Should we start over? Do we start back at the intro? Since we weren't broadcasting the damn audio. Got a super chat from VGMR just to tell me that you can't hear me. I'm glad that you guys told me, you couldn't hear me, because who knows how long I would have gone. I'm sure eventually I would have realized it eventually, but all right. So, what's up, my friends? Welcome. This time you can hear me now? All right. So this is the live stream. This is where I get to hang out with you awesome individuals, answer your guys' questions. If you guys have questions, hit it up in the chat. Sometimes if the chat gets a little too crazy and carried away and I can't keep up with it, then sometimes I have to skip some questions down, and then we have to go and, jump to a little bit farther down in the comment section. So if I do miss your question, you can ask it again, or you can always hit me up on Instagram, link down in the description box down below for my Instagram. You hit me up over there. But key thing too is if you ask your question and then I answer it and then you just left and came back, or you weren't paying attention, you try asking the question again, I'm not going to re-answer your question. So make sure you're paying attention at least, because I do see that sometimes happening. So now that our audio works, we can kind of get into some things. Let me see what we got as far as some of our... Well, first, thanks to VGMR for donating in order to make sure that I know that audio wasn't working. I saw it a little bit before that, though, too, but appreciate that. The alerts are acting all crazy right now, unless there is just a bunch of people subscribing right now to be able to participate and chat. Well, and that could be a possibility, and if so, then I greatly appreciate you for subscribing. That way you can participate and chat, and we'll also talk about the giveaway a little bit later on, or a little bit here in a minute. But first, let's address the notification platoon. Awesome individuals. We got T-Dog, we got Jaden, we got Edward, we got Slurpee, we got The Long Haul, we got, Gilt Snow or something, I don't know. Always a Marine. We've got Rex. We have TFR 60. VGMR, one of our Chaos Army commanders. We got Big D, we got John Franco, we got the Candace, Time for Games, Spoteus, I'm horrible with names, guys. Lit Gaming, Jason Wickens, T.Y. Kepper, Sergio Rubio, Raider Nation. Go Raiders in case it's lies in the Las Vegas Raiders. Good deal. If not, then whatever. We got Lou Roberts. Was it Marsha Stanley? Killer Beast. Extreme. Holy Handgreen, one of our other Chaos Army commanders. We got Jay the Vorn. Got a lot of individuals. We got Evie in the house. Doug the Eliminator, one of our Chaos Army commanders. All right. So we're going to get into things a little bit later on. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to enter into the drawing that we're going to be having on Saturday, the 30th of October, since Sunday is Halloween. Or actually, I think we were going to do Sunday afternoon. So we are still going to do Sunday afternoon of Halloween, but in the afternoon, in case some of you guys are going trick-or-treating, taking kids trick-or-treating, handing out candy, whatever you're doing, we'll do Sunday afternoon to be able to do that. So in a little bit, I'll give you guys a chance to enter into the drawing. A key thing with this drawing now is that, yes, you being here at the live stream and then doing the action that I need you to do inside the chat will get you entered into the drawing, and you can enter only once per live stream, but you can enter more than one live stream, but only once during that specific live stream. But you also need to be registered down below. There's a link to my website that has a place where you can register your email address. That way, if you do win, that I know what email address to send the gift card to, because you can win a $100 gift card. There is, I think, like 40-something people that have entered in it, but I think I only have like 30-something names, so there's a chance that we can end up picking a winner on Sunday, next Sunday, but the Sunday after that for Halloween, and that person doesn't have an email address registered with that little thing, so I don't know where to send it, so we're not going to give that person the gift card. I'm going to redraw someone else until we get someone that does have an email address registered. So make sure that if you are going to register it, you already have registered, or you plan on doing it in the future, whatever, make sure you do so. That email address list I'm not going to keep. I'm only using it for this specific contest. When the contest is over at the end of the year, I'm deleting all those emails out of that little registry, so I'm not going to like spam you with any kind of email. That's a different thing, which I don't spam you with it, but there is a a mailing list if you want to be a part of that. And I need to get better about the mailing list to give better information and maybe better perks, but there is a mailing list if you want to join that. Okay. Enough with all this stuff. Let's get into some of your guys' questions, shall we? Let's see. What do we have? Let's see. After we'll skip past the sign language test, as Jay the Vorn apparently says in here. My audio wasn't working. It's like a silent movie. It was like a silent movie. It was very sad. It's very rough. Let's start off with this guy right here. Timothy asking, hey Chris, how far did you ever march with full gear on in boot camp? There was that final road march that we did at the very end, and I forget the mileage. I want to say it might have been like 10 or 12 miles, but I'm not 100% sure. I think nowadays they do it with 12 miles, but I'm not 100% sure if ours was 12 miles. It felt like forever, and there's a possibility just because, I'm so new at that point in time at road marching, at everything really, that everything just felt so long, and it might not have really been 12 miles, but there's a possibility of 12 miles. I think currently nowadays it is 12 miles, but back then I'm not sure if it was, but that's usually what to expect. That's most common at your units too. Not a whole often will you do more than 12 miles. Most of your road marches are like 6 miles, maybe 4 miles if they're really short ones. 12 miles is a pretty common length, like for a lengthy one. Not a whole lot of units go beyond that, but that sometimes does depend. There is chances that you will go more than 12, but your most common farthest one in normal units is like 12 miles. Obviously, if you're doing something like you're trying out for special forces, you're trying out for rangers, then it could be longer. If you're doing the baton, which is pretty cool, I did that. And that was fun. That's what, 24 point something, whatever a marathon is. So, but yeah. What parts are most important during Army basic training? I mean, getting into shape, probably. Just making sure you don't cheat yourself. Some people will try to, pretend that they're doing the push-ups when they're not really doing the push-ups. The drill sergeants are probably having a little bit of fun with it, smoking you and everything. But in the end, the whole point of it is to get you whipped into shape. So that way you're easily able to complete the Army Combat Fitness Test, the ACFT. If you're doing it before March, then it's not going to matter. But still, nonetheless, they're trying to make sure that you're going to be in good shape to where you can handle everything, right? If you're doing the bare minimum, you're cheating yourself, you're not doing the push-ups when the drill sergeants aren't looking, then, you may end up not being in as good of shape as you should be. So I think the physical part of making sure you give all your effort to make sure that the task of them trying to get you into shape is accomplished is pretty important to me. What rank am I currently? I mean, I don't have no rank right now. If you don't know what my rank was, there's a whole bio about me on my, the about page of my YouTube channel as far as what my MOS was, what deployments I went on, how long I was in the Army for, what my rank was when I got to the Army. That's basic knowledge stuff. If you guys don't know that stuff, I'm trying to facilitate the people who have a little bit more advanced questions here, right? That maybe are a little bit more familiar with the channel and maybe just want to know more about the Army. That's basic stuff that you got to check out on my about section of my of the YouTube channel to get the basics about me if you want to learn about that stuff. Is those the same for all combat MOSs? No. You'll still have, so like when you're doing OSIT, you still have like the basic training stuff for the most part anyways. So that's the first 10 weeks is still like basic training, just OSIT has everything tied together. So instead of doing basic training AIT, you do OSIT, so it ties all together. So if you're doing OSIT for 11 Bravo compared to OSIT for like MPs or engineers, that first 10 weeks, roughly, for the most part, will be about the same for everybody. But then it's after that 10 weeks when it starts getting a little bit different because now you're focusing on what is related to your MOS, what is related to, 11 Bravo compared to an MP, for infantry type of tactics compared to, military police type of stuff. So it does vary, so it won't be exactly the same. OSIT isn't all around exactly the same. What's happening, Sammy? What do we got here? What's up, brother? What squadron and troop were you in Fort Hood? I'm in Thunder Squadron. So I was in 30th CR when they were in Fort Carson. So before they went to Fort Hood, actually right around the time they were going to Fort Hood, I was in Regimental Support Squadron and Mule Skinner, which was S&T. No, that was S&T Troop. Neil Skinner was RSS, right? Yeah. So I was in Regimental Support Squadron, and then I deployed with them to Iraq. When we came back from Iraq is when they made the move from Fort Carson to Fort Hood, and 4th AD headquarters moved from Fort Hood to Fort Carson. So I did not want to go with them to Fort Hood, and I re-enlisted to stay in Fort Carson, and then moved over to the 4th Infantry Division. So then you can't see it because the microphone's blocking it, but so I got the other one here, because these are the 2 units that I deployed to Iraq with. 30th CR, which that was when they were 3rd ACR, not 3rd CR, because now they're 3rd Cavalry Regiment. They're not Armored Cavalry Regiment anymore. And then I went over to 4ID and deployed with them to Baghdad. So, Brave Rifles, aye. Do active duty soldiers have a choice on their duty station is overseas or not? Not really. Kind of, but not really. I mean, when you're an AIT, so when you're a brand new soldier, you have this thing called a dream sheet. And sometimes it really depends on how things kind of work out if you really get something off your dream sheet. Because it could very easily be a scenario where you put these locations on your dream sheet of where you want to go to and you get none of them. That happens sometimes. The key thing is that if you're in an MOS, let's say you pick to go to Germany because you want to go overseas, you heard great things about Germany, and you put Germany on there on your dream sheet, right? And if there happens to be units in Germany that are short on your MOS, then yeah, you might be lucky enough and get to go to Germany because that was your choice and they were short on your MOS. But if the places you put on your dream sheet are not really in dire need of your MOS and there's other people that are in more dire need for that MOS, then you're going to get stuck going to those places. That's more of what the dream sheet is for, is to kind of give your preference of where you want to go, but it's still going to depend on needs of the Army. So they need you at those places, cool. You get lucky and you get probably the place you want to go to, but if they don't, then you get stuck with something else. Outside of the dream sheet thing, the only way you can sometimes choose where you go to is when you re-enlist for it. If you go and your contract is about to expire, you have 1 year left on your contract, you re-enlist to stay in the Army for however many years you're re-enlisting for. A lot of times there's an option for choice of duty station and you can choose where to go to, but that still does depend on your duty assignment, right? Or as far as your MOS and if it's available. For example, the first time I re-enlisted, I wanted to go to Fort Irwin. I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't get it because I've heard actually a lot of horror stories about 88 mics in Fort Irwin, but I tried to re-enlist for Fort Irwin because I wanted to be closer to family. I wanted to be in California. They didn't have any available slots for me at Fort Irwin, so I couldn't get Fort Irwin even though I was re-enlisting for it. So eventually I ended up going with Fort Carson and went that route. So those are a couple ways that you can kind of choose where to go, but outside of that, not really. You're my favorite YouTuber. Also, what is a MOS? A 31 kilo. I don't have all the MOSs memorized off the top of my head, but 31 kilo. Let's do a quick search. Military working dog handler. A very hard MOS to get. I have a video on that MOS. It's a tough one to get. I know a lot of people that have wanted to get 31 kilo, so they can be a military working dog handler and work with dogs for, sniff out drugs and bombs and all that stuff that they do. But it's a tough MOS to get. It's a challenge. So I think the hardest one is probably being a firefighter. That's a tough MOS to get because there's very few slots, but this one's probably somewhere near that realm of a tough MOS to get. What are the key tips to passing Army basic training? Giving it all your effort, right? Don't slack, don't slouch, don't try to cut corners or anything else like that. Just making sure you pay attention, making sure you're giving it full effort, and participating, right? That's usually the key thing. As long as you just kind of stay on track and you listen to the drill sergeants, you behave, you give it all your effort, you can get through basic training. It's not impossible to get through, but if for people that have maybe discipline problems, maybe they don't like people telling them what to do, kind of a thing, or you're lazy and you don't want to give it all that effort and you're trying to just get by, kind of a thing, then you might struggle. But if you give it your full effort, you can get through basic training just fine. Let's see, it's come down a little bit. Let's try this one. I don't know if I have the answer to it. Let me see the whole thing. Hey man, do you have any idea on how to become and the steps to be an aviation officer? I'm graduating high school here soon and I'm leaving leaning towards being in the military. So in the Army, in order to usually get into aviation, there's a street to seats, I think it's called. So you'd want to talk to a recruiter, and you basically go straight to being a warrant officer and try to find out about the steps. I don't know all of the steps about that. That's something you definitely would want to communicate with an Army recruiter to kind of find out about that. But you become a warrant officer, you fly helicopters, and there's probably some qualifications, some things you probably have to do prior to. So definitely just try to contact probably an Army recruiter. Say you're graduating here soon from high school. I mean, you can even start now, start the process to find out what it is you're going to have to do. But yeah, there's it's called street to seats or something like that. Flight streets, I don't remember what it's called. Something like that. Is that vest real or fake? I would think so. What do you mean? Which one do you think? It's real or fake? So technically both. The vest itself is real, so you can. It's a real vest, obviously. I mean, it's not plastic or anything. The plates that are currently inside of it, I don't even know why I have the plates in it, but I guess it helps hold the shape better. But the plates that are currently inside of it are workout plates for you to work out with, and gives a little bit of weight for your workout. But this is a real vest, and all I would have to do is swap out the plates with actual ballistic plates inside this vest, and it would be a full-on real vest. So partially real, partially workout vest, I guess, kind of a thing. The vest was a little bit pricey because they are pricey. I mean, I don't remember. I think it was like $200 plus the plates were another like $50 or something like that for the workout plates. But yeah, the plates inside are just for working out. They would. I don't know if they. I mean, maybe they could stop some smaller caliber bullets, but I would not want to test that out and find out. So are Pugil sticks back in Army basic training now? I don't know for sure. I know I had a video a while back that was talking about it for like Fort Jackson or Fort Seal or something like that, where they had brought it back. I don't know if like Army-wide basic training, everyone has brought Pugil sticks back into basic training. Maybe some people in the chat can, hit it up, and maybe there's some people that have recently gone through basic training and can tell you if they did Pugils or not. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Thanks for stopping by, Nicholas. In basic combat training, do you keep your phone? Sort of, but not really. So typically is what they'll do. It'll depend on the leadership as far as how they want to do the policy, but most locations that I've heard about from soldiers that I've talked to recently, they confiscate the phone and the charger, and they have like either some kind of like Tupperware bin or something that you'll put your phone and charger inside of, and then they'll lock that up into the drill sergeant's office somewhere. And then you have some designated time frames when they will bring that stuff out and you'll be able to use them. How often that is, that really depends on leadership. I've talked to some soldiers where they say they got it pretty much almost every Sunday or every weekend. Some where they got it very few times, maybe like once or twice. So that really depends. But they usually get put into some kind of container with your name on it probably or whatever, get locked up, and then at a certain point in time, you're allowed to bring that stuff out and be able to use the cell phones, call home, text, get on the internet and watch some Christopher Chaos videos that you missed while you were hard at work at basic training, whatever, We got a super chat. Let's jump down in the chat a little bit as we have Lit Games with a super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Just arrived at Fort Bragg reception as an Airborne 12 Bravo and was wondering what I would be doing when I get to my unit. I mean, that depends on your unit and your MOS, really. I mean, you're going to do your reception process for about usually it's about a week, 2 weeks, something like that, at your unit or at the installation you go to. We're going to start getting into your gear and probably do some classes and everything else like that. And then you should, at some point in time, have like a sponsor. Usually most installations will do this, where somebody from your unit will make contact with you and, introduce themselves and maybe get you up to speed as to what they're doing, what's going on, and what you'll probably be doing. But that's really going to depend on your unit. And you said you're a 12 Bravo, is that an engineer, right? But it's going to depend on your unit. You probably should find out from at some point in time, hopefully a sponsor. Maybe after a few days, maybe it's towards the end. It may fluctuate based on the installation as far as how they do that process, but that person should tell you what's going on. And then you get to your unit, and they're going to probably give you a tour around the place. And if you're single, then they're going to get you set up in the barracks on day one when you get to your unit. And then you have to kind of get introduced to everybody and just kind of go from there. So good luck to you. I appreciate the super chat. Sorry I can't give you probably a better idea, but it does really just depend on the unit as far as what you're going to be doing when you get there. I don't know what 12 Bravos start off doing because I wasn't a 12 Bravo. So, or is that an MP? MP, I don't know. All right, let me come backwards in the chat. Right, about where I left off from, somewhere's close by. To this guy right here. Let's see. Can you explain how income tax filing works while on deployment for single soldiers? So while you're on deployment, have I ever been in a situation where I needed to file taxes while I was on a deployment? I don't think I have. There was, what did I do? There was, well, no, I think I've always made it back in time to do my taxes, but usually, so if you're on a deployment and you file taxes, you can probably file for an extension because you're deployed. They might have ways to do it with like your S1 out there and do stuff out there, maybe, unless you want to wait out there. I just don't remember how that part worked. But your general taxes wise, like say on your deployment, right? Like when you come back, you can file your taxes if it's not past the cutoff time. And usually they have free places on posts that you can actually do it for free. Like that, they have soldiers that are trained on how to file taxes. So you get with them and you give them all your documentation and they put everything together and they file it. If you were in a combat zone, then you usually have something that proves that, kind of a thing. It's on your, I think they have it in the system. I forget what it was they showed to prove it, but that time frame is non-taxed, so you don't have to pay that back, nothing, even when you come back and do taxes. If it wasn't a combat zone, then it's still the same way, still works the same. But if you're on a combat deployment, it might be a little tough. If you're on a non-combat deployment, they probably still have something established at that location. It would allow you to probably file your taxes probably through S1 or through somebody through there. You could do it online. I see like Holy Hand Grenade, I think, was saying something about TurboTax or something like that. But I mean, yeah, you could do it yourself, but you can just have the army do it for you. You just get with a soldier that's trained on that stuff, and you usually can do that stuff for free. Oh yeah, what are we on? I see. Hey man, glad to see you're close to 100. I didn't even see what are we at. We're at 59. I didn't even put out the information about like our like goal. We got it right over here, right? Like goal of 100 likes. Take a look down below. If you have not liked the stream, hit that thumbs up for me, all right? If you hate the stream, then I need you to hit that thumbs up 3 times for me. Let's see. Once we turn it on, second time we turn it off. Yeah, so third time turn it back. Yeah, so 3 times. I really can see that you hated the stream if you like it 3 times. That'll really accomplish that kind of a task. So yeah, make sure you like the stream down below. We're trying to get to 100 likes before the end of the stream. We probably might have a good chance of doing it. We got enough of you guys hopefully in here, and we already at a pretty good pace. But if we don't make it, then that's how many push-ups you got to do at the end of the stream. So yeah, sorry, that was part of the terms of service when you agreed to watch the stream. No going back on it now. Where did I get those army stars? What army stars? Stars you talking about? I mean, I have stars on my Iraq campaign medal. I don't know if that's what you're talking about though. If I join active duty army and my duty station is overseas, would I ever be able to come back to the States and see my family during my contract? Yeah, they usually have things called like mid-tour leave, where at a certain point in time, you know, in that tour, whether it's a 1-year, 2-year tour, whatever it is, you know, you'll have a chance to take some vacation, take some leave, and they'll fly you back. I'm trying to remember, like when I was in Korea, did I have to pay for a flight from Korea back to the United States? I don't think I did. I want to say that the Army flies you back to the States, and then I had to pay for my ticket from where I was. I don't remember how it worked. I don't remember. That one was kind of weird, I think. I can't remember for sure. Because I did do that. Like when I was stationed in Korea, because I was there for 2 years, then I got 2 opportunities to take mid-tour relief during my first, 1 year, and then somewhere in the middle of my 2nd year. And for that one, I got to go home both times for 30 days. So if you have that kind of leave frame, they usually let you do that on those kind of overseas tours. Most of the time, a lot of the time anyways. But yeah, you'll have an opportunity to be able to do so, put in mid-tour leave. But I can't remember how they do it. They might hook you up because you're stationed overseas, or they may not, because otherwise that'd be probably expensive as hell. do a plane ticket. And I don't think I remember paying a lot of money, you know, for like a plane ticket back to the States when I was taking leave. So they might cover it for you. So it might be like a expenses paid thing when you're overseas, maybe? I don't remember for sure. How long can you stay as an E4 without getting kicked out? So on reserves, it's a little bit different. Like reserves, National Guard, they're a little bit more lenient on that kind of policy. Active duty, I'm just guessing off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember. You can look into it. It's called, man, shoot, I can't even think of what it's actually called. There's a specific term that they use for that, like RCP, maybe something like that. I think that's what it's called. But off the top of my head, I think E4 without being promotable, I think it's like 8 years. I think if you've been in the Army for 8 years and you're not promotable, then I think they will make you get out. I think something like that. But look it up. I actually have a video I think that talks about it. I think about RCP or something like that. I forget what the name of the video is called though, but I think I have a video that talks about how long you can stay in the Army at these ranks and stuff before they force you out. Can a new soldier get stationed in South Korea after basic training? You can. Yeah, I knew a lot of people in South Korea. That was their first duty assignment. I feel like that's a kind of like not a good. I don't know. So Korea's pretty easy. I feel like Korea's a pretty good assignment. It's pretty decent, right? And a lot of times the units are pretty cool and pretty chill in Korea. And when that's your first duty assignment, and then you go to somewhere stateside, it kind of ruins things. And you're like, holy crap, the Army sucks. It was so much better when I was in Korea. Where like I started off in Kansas at Fort Riley, and then I went to Korea. So I already knew what it was kind of like at a normal stateside Army installation, because then it was a nice getaway when I went to Korea. I was like, man, this is pretty cool. This is pretty chill. It's pretty awesome. And then I went back to the States, and I wasn't spoiled with thinking that what it was like in Korea was what it's like. But then I've also known people that hated being in Korea too. So I guess it really depends on the unit, probably sometimes too. But yeah, that's totally the thing. You can end up having your first duty station be Korea. That's possible. So what promotions should someone go for right at the beginning? All of them. I mean, just as long as you give 100% and give it a full effort kind of a thing, hopefully you make a promotion. I don't think there's any that you shouldn't go for. So I don't know. It's kind of a tough question to kind of answer in that way. Super chat from Holy Hand Grenade. Thank you, my friend. The cutoff would be 8 years. However, no active duty unit is going to let you sit on E4 for 8 years. Yeah, no. Reserve components depend on the state and slot available. Yeah. So, hey, that was a pretty good guess off the top of my head of being 8 years. That's what I was thinking it was. It was somewhere around there, like 8 years of not being promotable. But yeah, I mean, the times I've seen that happen is like soldiers that are, injured. Maybe they can't pass their PT test. Maybe they're overweight or whatever. So they end up getting to that point and they couldn't get promoted because they, just got stuck in that kind of situation. And then eventually they're like, hey, nope, you got to get promoted or you got to get out of the Army. You can't stay in the Army. And then that kind of happens. But yeah, for the most part, after I would say probably 4 years, 5 years, probably 3 or 4 years, somewhere around there, your unit's usually bugging the crap out of you, trying to get you motivated to get you promoted around that time frame. Yeah, so it's tough to be in the Army for 8 years and be a specialist without getting, I don't know, just getting ragged on like crazy from your unit. See, Jesse's in here, my girlfriend. What are you doing? Gotta watch our kid. She's probably getting crazy and falling asleep too early. Well, it's not too early right now. Maybe a little too early. She could be like drawing all over the walls. I don't know. No. All right, let me come backwards in the chat. Let's see. We'll jump a little bit ahead. There shouldn't be anything wrong with holding your partner's hands in uniform. I mean, technically, it's It's just professionalism. If you're trying to hold their hand and you got to salute an officer, then it causes some problems. There's just a lot of things with it. It's just they want you to look super professional. Yeah, sure, I can kind of see the point too, but it's how it is. I hear people say 50% of people going to MEPS fail. Why is that? I don't know. Is that a real statistic? I don't know if that's a real statistic. I mean, it's possible. I mean, if you fail a drug test, you are overweight. Well, usually if you're overweight, the recruiters catch that before they even send you in the first place. The doctors catch something that they find. I don't know if 50%. 50% price seems kind of high, but I mean, that's possible. I don't know what the legit statistics is, but people that usually don't make it through MEPS is usually something medical related. I think it's probably maybe the most common one. And then outside of that might be like drugs and certain other things probably. I don't know. That's my guess. I don't know. Not for sure. Learned a lot from your videos. Good job, man. I hope you get to target for the end of the year. I hope so too. So make sure you are subscribed and you like the stream. What are we at? 68 likes? Like the stream? Subscribe? I mean, you can't chat unless you're subscribed. Here in a little bit, we're going to do the entries for the giveaway. So make sure you're sticking around for that. We'll offer that up here in a little bit. How do you feel about the Army taking the shark attack out of basic? I don't think it's that big of a deal because they replaced it with something that still seems like it sucks. If you haven't seen the video, I did a video that shows the comparison. What is it called? The first 100 yards or whatever of what they do now. And that kind of shows, what it is they do. And it looks like that still sucks too. So it's not like they went from doing the shark attack to an ice cream party. It looks like what they still do probably still sucks. Does it suck more than the shark attack? I don't know. It looks like it still sucks though. So I don't think it's too big of a deal to me. I don't know. Any tips on selling t-shirts? I want to start a t-shirt company soon. I don't know, create something cool, advertise. I don't know. I wouldn't be a great person to talk to because it's not like the Chaos t-shirts are like flying off the shelves or anything, but there is Chaos t-shirts. Links down below. All right, buy a Chaos t-shirt. The most fun MOS in your opinion? I don't know. I think the most fun MOS in my opinion would probably be different than anybody else's, but like you said, I guess in my opinion, it's because I like video production stuff. There's an MOS. What is it? A 25 Victor. I always forget what it is. There's a couple different ones. There's one that does like video stuff specifically, like in radio and everything. And there's another one that does kind of like, what is it called? Like kind of like other type of media things. I forget what that one's called. Like a public affairs kind of thing. I don't remember, but something in that realm of like doing video production type of things because they do have that in the Army. So in my opinion, that would be fun. But your idea of fun might be something different. Can you keep your phone in Airborne School? Not 100% sure. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know though. I never went through Airborne School, so you have to ask someone who went to Airborne. How much should I weigh for the Army if I'm 5'6"? Well, go check out my video. So it depends on your age and male or female kind of a thing, all that kind of stuff. So I have a recent video as far as how much you can weigh in the Army, and it breaks it down. I don't have that stuff memorized, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But if you go check out that video, I have a breakdown of it and how you can find out for yourself. If I don't, it shows a chart, and you can probably pause the video and you can look at the chart and see what the weight limit is and how much the minimum is. So check out that video. I think it's called like how much can you weigh in the Army. I have a hard time deciding which MOS to pick. For me, it's 11 Bravo versus 88 Mike. Can you help me decide what are the pros and cons to 88 Mike? Do I have a video about pros and cons of an 88 Mike? If not, maybe I should do that. I don't know. I have a video that talks about being an 88 Mike. Pros and cons? I don't know. So like, if you're trying to decide between 11 Bravo and 88 Mike, it really just depends on your interests, right? Do you want to be someone who's going to learn all those infantry tactics, possibly go on raids? You're going to be doing a lot of training. when you're in the field, when you're out of the field, sometimes not doing a lot of details when you're not in the field, because you really mainly have a job when you're deployed, and then when you're not deployed, you're just training and then doing other things outside of your job. Whereas 88 Mike has a job regardless, because even when you're not deployed, you're taking ammo down to the ranges for training, you're picking up parts for vehicles that need maintenance in the motor pool, so you might have to take the truck down to another building on post to go have it loaded with parts. All sorts of the possibilities of things you're probably doing, so you probably still have a job. A lot of times just being in the motor pool, inspecting your truck over and over again, it depends. So it really depends on like which of those two jobs probably. I mean, pros and cons off the top of my head, I don't know. If I don't already have a video on that, maybe someone needs to remind me. Maybe I need to make a pros and cons to being an 88 Mike. If I don't already have that video, I don't remember if I do or not. If you're injured, does recovery time count as part of your tour? Yeah. So that if you got injured in the Army, it doesn't because it's called convalescent leave. So like if you got something serious enough that you had to go on leave for your injury to recover from it, then that's just convalescent leave, and that still is part of your time in being in the Army. But if it's not serious enough that it required surgery, you're just injured, then you might just be on profile. So that means you're just doing light duty. You're still showing up to work, and your time in the Army doesn't pause or anything like that. No. McBen says I'm late. Little Chaos is watching. She said, "Hi, Daddy. I'm upstairs." I don't know if she's still watching right now. Maybe by now you guys have moved on to other things. I don't know. Hi, Chris. I like your watch. Well, thanks, Evie. It's a very nice watch. It's the Garmin Phoenix Pro. Good watch. Are there pros and cons to doing college before enlisting? I don't know. I mean, the plus side is you'll come into the Army. So if you did a bachelor's degree and you didn't go officer, then you get to come in the Army as a specialist. So you get to start off making more money. That's pretty good. Already have that college time kind of knocked out. It'll help with promotions to like E5 and E6 because you'll have that those promotion points for civilian education. So that's pretty good. Cons, I don't really know if there's a cons unless, you think of a con as like, maybe at a younger age was better your prime for being in the Army, and now you're kind of coming into it a little bit later at 24, 23, whatever. It's a little bit tougher on you. I would hope not. I don't know. I don't know if there's cons, but there's probably more pros than there is cons to that. But, it depends on everybody's preferences. Sometimes they would rather wait until they get out of the Army to go to college, but I'd say it's a pretty good choice if that was what you wanted to do. What MOS rides with 88 mics? I mean, really anybody, but your 88 mics are going to be with the 88 mics. So, like, you have the driver and you have the TC, which is the truck commander. Some people call it the tank commander, depending on the MOS. But does the graphic look weird? I just noticed that on that one. Were all of them like that from earlier, and I just didn't notice? No, just is that specific one? Okay. But the person that's riding with you when you're an 88 mic is probably just another 88 mic. Usually it's an NCO. So the driver might be like an E4 or below a lot of the times. Sometimes there's still E5s and E6s that'll still want to drive, or you have to drive because you're short on soldiers or whatever the mission is. But typically, you have maybe an NCO that's in the passenger seat. That's the truck commander. But if you're short on NCOs, then it's just one of the other soldiers in your platoon that's driving with you, because you'll always have someone with you. They have these kind of things like single operator licenses, but usually they don't do that with larger trucks. They usually do that with like Humvees and stuff and smaller vehicles. But you always usually have somebody with you, but it's usually just another 88 mic. What is everyone here's opinion on waiting to join the Army at 27? Thought about it, and when I was younger, but never did it. I think as long as, like, no matter what your age is, as long as you still qualify for the Army, I guess, as long as you're in good enough shape and you can keep up with those younger soldiers, I don't think it really matters. You know, sometimes it makes it tough because, you know, maybe you could have, you know, if you would have started earlier, then you could have ended sooner, right? You retired earlier or whatever. But sometimes maybe you want to do some really cool things in your early 20s and then join the Army, and that sometimes happens too. Maybe you want to do college, maybe you want to tour the world while you're young still. So, you know, it kind of just depends on personal preference, I think. Should we do the giveaway thing now? Probably get the giveaway thing going. How far into the stream are we? 47 minutes-ish. By the way, we're at 74 likes. Got a goal here. That way. Right that way. 100 likes. Make sure you hit that like button so we can get to 100 likes before the stream ends. Otherwise, you owe me 100 push-ups when the stream ends because we didn't get to the goal. Those are the terms of services when you clicked on the video to start watching the stream. So, I got some mods in here, right? We got VGMR, I got Jay the Vorn, Eevee, Holy Hand Grenade. So mods can help me out here. Want to give the instructions for entering into the giveaway. If my mods can, you know, do me a huge favor and screenshot the chat and then post those images inside of the Discord mod channel. Right, so the mod chat inside Discord, so that way I can copy down the names to add them to the Excel spreadsheet for the giveaway. So if you guys are not aware, we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, right? We're trying to get to that goal before the end of this year, but during the month of October, November, and December, we're doing a giveaway, okay? So at the end of the month, you know, if you were here at the live stream and you entered in the giveaway, I'm going to randomly draw one of those names from the Excel spreadsheet from those people that entered in the drawings during the live streams. You can only enter once during each live stream, but if you came to multiple live streams, you could have entered once during each of those live streams, right? So it allows you multiple chances to possibly win. But if your name is selected from that drawing on Halloween, we're going to do it in the afternoon. That way you don't miss out on any trick-or-treating action, partying, whatever you got to do. But you don't have to be here for the live stream. But if I draw your name, I need your email address. So there's a link down below that you need to kind of tell me what your username is on YouTube and what your email address is. That way, if I pick your name, then I know what email address to send the $100 Amazon gift card to. So that is the prize. We're going to do gift card in October, November, and December. So 3 possible chances to win. If you win one of those months, then you can't win the other months. So sorry. So make sure that you have your name in there, because if I choose your name and I don't have an email address from you, I'm going to choose somebody else in this chat, in the Excel spreadsheet, redraw another random number to figure out who we're going to pick from until we do get somebody that I have an email address for. Okay, so make sure you have that. There are some of you out there, possibly maybe watching this stream, that I don't have email addresses for. So if I pick your name, you won't get the Amazon gift card and somebody else will. So in the chat, if you will please type a number 2, then that enters you into the drawing. Again, you can only enter once, so don't do it multiple times because it's not going to matter. I'm only going to put your name down once. So enter number 2 in the chat. We'll give it a couple of minutes, and then we'll cut it off. And then mods, I'll need your help with capturing those names by screenshotting the chat for me and then posting it inside of the Discord mod channel for me to copy down. So while that's going on, enter a 2 in the chat. I'm going to continue reading off some of your guys' questions for a couple minutes, and then we'll cut off the entries. Well, I already laughed, though. Hi, please don't laugh at me. I'm laughing at the question. If you were a Navy SEAL and you saw a mermaid, would you shoot her first or investigate? I'm writing a story. I think it'd be pretty scary. I would probably investigate and probably not shoot at the mermaid unless the mermaid was attacking me. That's me personally, right? I mean, otherwise I would try to investigate, try to capture some images, some video of this stuff, because I'd be famous as hell if I had a video footage of a real life mermaid type of thing. Me personally, I probably wouldn't try to capture it. I'm sure some people probably would try to capture it, but yeah, probably investigate first. I go that way. Yeah, super chat. Can't highlight your message because you don't have a message. But thanks. Was it? We'll go with Mr. Johnson. I'm not sure how to pronounce your first name. Is it Morande? I don't know. I don't want to butcher the hell of your name. I probably already did. Mr. Johnson. Thank you very much for your super chat. I don't have a message to highlight, so I can't highlight that you super chatted because there's no message attached to it. But Appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. Did you type a number 2 in the chat so you can enter in the drawing? Enter in the drawing. Why do some people get stuck at some ranks? It's tough to get promoted. Like usually your E1 through E4 is pretty automatic. You shouldn't get stuck anywhere in between there unless you were getting busted and getting in trouble and you get reduced in rank. Then that can possibly be a thing. But otherwise, E1 through E4 should have no reason why you should get stuck in between. Usually after E4 or from E4 and on, that's when people get stuck at ranks because you're trying to advance from the rank of an E4 specialist to get up to being a sergeant. And if you can't pass the promotion board, you can't pass the school, maybe your points cutoffs are too high, so you can't make points to get that promotion, then that gets you stuck there. Same with E5 too, you get stuck at E5 because the promotion points are too high, so you can't make points to get promoted, maybe you can't pass the school, whatever the case is, and that's when people get kind of stuck. Beyond that, now, that's a little bit tough, right? Because then from E6 up, that's when DA is looking at kind of your accomplishments and what you've done and what your experience is to decide if you're basically worthy enough of getting promoted from there. And sometimes based on your experience, they may decide that you're not experienced enough that they want to promote you, and then that kind of gets a little bit tough, but it can happen. If you see an officer in public and you aren't in uniform, do you salute? No. Sometimes people will do it anyways, like if they know the person, but typically no. You don't salute an officer if they're not in uniform, you're not in uniform, or they are in uniform and you're not in uniform. Usually it's not a thing. Typically, I mean, you might have some units that are picky about that. Like if you know the person, like if that's a officer in your unit and they're like, hey, you should have saluted. Now, if you're in, civilian clothes, yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but sometimes they might still be picky about it, even in that case. Do they still do the Battle Buddy thing after all this COVID stuff? I don't. So like the Battle Buddy thing is more important like during basic and AIT usually. Outside of that, it's more of a hypothetical kind of a thing where you don't really have to stick with your Battle Buddy all the time. Usually they just have like a Battle Buddy that you have like a phone number for. So if you're in a situation where you're stuck downtown, you drank too much and you need a designated driver, you have somebody you can call to help you out kind of a thing. And that's kind of usually how that ends up working there. All right. Let's go ahead and it looks like pretty much everybody's done typing number 2s anyways. So we'll end the entries into the giveaway there. Looks like we start off with the first number 2 at, was it Terp 710? Something like that, 710 is the first entry. And then the last entry looks like it's Venus Pollock. So mods, if you can hook me up and help me out, greatly appreciate it. How to get into the moderator channel of Discord, Jay the Vorn? You should. You're a moderator, so you should have access to the mod chat inside of Discord. So, but if mods, if you can hook me up with that, I think I see you guys already got it though. Cool. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, BGMR, Evie. See your guys' messages in there. Cool. Now I can capture those. Good deal. Appreciate you guys. So, all right. If you did not enter, it's too late. Time's cut off. You still have another Sunday that we still have one more chance for you to enter in before the giveaway. We won't have a chance for you to enter during the day of the stream, so that's just the day of the stream to announce the winner. And so there will be one more chance for you to enter into the giveaway. What rank does being overweight not prevent you from being promoted? Like not? I don't think that's the thing. If you're overweight, you're barred from promotion, so it doesn't matter. Usually, I think it's all ranks. Also, do you still have to quarantine before starting basic training? I think they quarantine you at basic training, don't they? I don't know on that one for sure. I think they're doing the quarantine at basic during reception. Do enlisted people salute officers from another branch? Yes. The tough thing is sometimes like with Navy, it's so tricky, like knowing the rank. But yes, you are required to salute officers of another branch. It's not a thing where because you're Army, you only salute Army officers. No, officers in general. I think they're probably pretty lenient and probably pretty understanding. Like because like some of the Navy ones look different, whereas like your Marine and your Air Force ones look pretty much the same. I think it's really just the Navy that has different looking ones, right? So that's kind of the main thing. But they might be a little understanding if you didn't realize they were an officer because their rank looks funny. But yeah, you have to salute all branches, all officers. Even you're supposed to even do like foreign allies too. Like when I was in Korea, we would have Korean Army, officers, and we were still supposed to salute the Korean Army officers. So that was still even a thing too. Thanks VGMRC inside the mod chat that you gave it to me in the nice, awesome format for me to be able to copy and paste it into the Excel spreadsheet, which makes it a lot easier. So appreciate that for the giveaway stuff. Nice plate carrier. Well, thanks, Mr. Rodriguez. If you went back in time while taking the ASVAB and could join any MOS, what would it be? The video production one. I mean, I didn't produce an interest in video production until I was already in the Army for about 2 or 3 years. But yeah, I would definitely probably go for that. I forget what it is, 25 Victor or something like that. I don't remember what it is. But yeah, I would do the whole video production MOS. I'm 24 and thinking about joining the 25th. Do you know anyone that joined the Army later than usual? A couple of people, and they were still in good shape. They got called grandpa even though they were only like 29, 30 kind of a thing. But still, they're going to get a little bit of crap for that. But yeah, I think as long as you're in good shape and you can keep up, I don't think there's any issues with that. If you had a friend do the buddy program with the same MOS, will you be stationed together after AIT? Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. So if you do the buddy program where you guys are both doing the same MOS, then you guys go to the same basic training, you guys go to the same AIT, and you're supposed to get your first duty assignment together. Now, you might not get the same unit, but you're supposed to get the same installation. Sometimes that can't always work out that way, but I think they try to make that happen, or they do make that happen. But then beyond that, there's no telling where you're going to go. So unless you guys both re-enlisted together to go to the same place, or if one person comes up in orders, you're not going to come up in orders too. So that comes down to a little bit differently to where you could get split up. But yeah, you guys usually don't go to the same unit. So that can be a problem too, because your buddy might go to a unit that's deploying and your unit isn't deploying. So now that person takes off and you don't really get to hang out with them at their first duty assignment. But yeah, that's typically what they try to do. Is there such thing as a combat photographer? There is. Combat camera. It's called combat camera. There's an MOS specifically for doing that kind of a thing, and they go and they're the ones that are out there on the battlefield taking photos of units and following them around on raids or whatever they want to do to capture some photos for, so they can use them for the Army Times, use them for whatever types of publications and stuff. So yeah, there is. I don't know what the MOS is. I don't remember. It's a 25 series, I think, but I don't remember off the top of my head what the MOS is. What kind of job do I do now? Is that what you mean? I'm an instructor for soldiers. I teach soldiers how to use a navigation and reporting system that's mounted in a lot of Army vehicles. Pretty much, not all of them, I would say all of them, but quite a few. And I teach soldiers how to use the system called JCR and the new version called JBCP. So I teach soldiers how to utilize them. There you go. Earlier, I know the question someone was asking about Airborne School. Jay the Vorn was a rigger, and he could probably tell you a lot of stuff. Says, yes, you can keep your phone in Airborne School. You're pretty much considered permanent party. So there you go. Good deal. What's your favorite dessert? And I see even Jesse answered it below afterwards. Cheesecake. Cheesecake would probably be my favorite dessert. Do you think the vaccine mandate will be lifted at some point? Probably not. It's like a lot of the other things you do in the Army. You have to do, flu shots. You have to do, anthrax if you're deploying, kind of a thing. You have to do a lot of, vaccines. So no, probably not. Unless they somehow later on find out that it's bad for you, then maybe. I feel it's too late now. But yeah, I feel like it'll be a thing that they'll probably keep, just like they did with anthrax and polio and the flu shots and everything else. Everyone leaves and rejoins to watch ads, get that ad revenue. I don't think it really works that way. And plus, even if you did, there'd have to be a crap ton of people to do so. So a little bit of YouTube insight, if you guys don't know this kind of a thing. You usually get paid per 1,000 views, right? These live streams might get 1,000 views in the end, right? Kind of a thing. So the per 1,000 views is like something around, you know, $2 to $5 kind of a thing. So even if 1,000 people watch this live stream, that's probably like $2 to $5, somewhere's in there. So your larger videos and having a lot of videos that get some views does help add up to that. But this one single live stream, even if you come out of it and come back into it, I don't know if I think they can track to like unique viewers compared to the same viewers. So I don't know if it really works the same way, but you'd have to have like probably hundreds of thousands of people doing that for it to really rack up, probably. Do you apply for Airborne School after you get into the Army, or do you talk to your recruiter about it? You can get into your contract, so that's something you can get into your contract, option 20, right? I forget what it is, something like that. But it is a thing you can possibly get into your contract if it's available. Then you get that, and that's pretty much guaranteeing that you'll go off to Airborne School after you graduate basic or AIT. I think they do it. I don't know if they do it before basic or if they do it after AIT. But outside of that, then it's a tough situation where you have to try to do it from your unit. Sometimes you can volunteer for it before you go off to your AIT or your unit if they have open slots.
Hi,
so you can.
Daddy.
Hi, baby.
Daddy,
Yes.
what's this called?
A glow stick, like hula hoop neck thingy, light thing. Yeah, there would be a delay.
What's this?
Jesse and little baby are here, raiding this stream. What are you doing?
Oh, Daddy,
Yeah,
how did it?
yeah. You doing that? I don't know what that is. You give me kisses?
It's called cleaning.
Oh, it's called cleaning.
It's called cleaning this.
Yeah. Okay. I love you.
Alright, say goodnight to Daddy. Let's go.
Say goodnight.
Good night, Dad.
I will. You like? No. Love you.
Like and subscribe.
Say like and subscribe. Tell people to hit that like button.
I don't want to.
No. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Say hit that like button. Say hit the like button. No,
Like
don't
it
press
is-
buttons. Trying to mute the microphone. All right. Love you.
Daddy, Tomoko will do that.
Yeah. Okay. I love you.
Love you.
Have a good night. Be good.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks. Don't do drugs. You gotta give, general good, messages. Kids will remember that. Maybe at one point in time in their future, she'll remember that. I remember that time during my dad's live stream told me not to do drugs, so I'll never do drugs. There you go. Boom. Parenting. That's how you do it, that kind of stuff, guys. All right, back to your guys' questions. What are we at for time? We're at an hour, so we're getting pretty close to the end of the stream here soon. Have you ever been approached by Raid Shadow Legends yet? No. For like sponsorship things? No, I had a what was it? I don't remember what the name of the game was. There was a game it was like a space exploration mobile game that hit me up not that long ago, but it wasn't like something I really wanted to do. They wanted me to do like a dedicated video, and they wanted me to, they would pay me based on how many people downloaded the app, but I really don't think there'd be that many people that watch my stuff would really want to download that app. And I wasn't really that motivated to want to kind of do that kind of a thing. It's not a game I would probably play, so it's kind of weird for me to try to promote that. So no sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends yet or anything. If they hit me up, I maybe, I don't know. It depends on what their offer was. Because sometimes there's extra work you got to put into doing a sponsored video. And if it's not really worth it, I don't need the money, and so you got to make it worth it for my time, kind of a thing. I'm not trying to charge millions of dollars or even thousands of dollars, really. But there's extra effort that I have to put into it, and if I don't need to put in that extra effort, if it's for a few bucks, for $20, you're trying to pay me $50 for me to put all this extra effort into putting together a sponsor thing, I'd rather just do my thing and do it the way I want to do it. Is OSIT training right now week 21, 22? Oh, in OSIT training. I thought you were asking, is it? Well, good luck to you, Jordan. Hopefully all goes well. You're getting towards the end, right? It's one last week to go, right? And then you're done with the hell of OSIT, and you can go off to your very first unit, and hopefully you get great leadership and a great duty assignment, and everything goes well. Good deal. Thanks for coming to watch the live stream. In certain circumstances, you can enter the enlisted ranks at a higher rank for higher education. Is it the same in the officer ranks? No, not unless you're a doctor. That's the only one I've seen, and I don't even know how that works, but like if you, let's say, instead of having a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree or whatever, then that doesn't get you higher up to be a second lieutenant or first lieutenant or captain. The only one I think I've ever heard of, and like I said, I don't know how it all works out, is I think if you're going to be a doctor. If you're going to be a doctor in the Army or in the military, then that usually means you were already a doctor in the civilian world. It might be even a pay cut. And so to avoid having too drastic of a pay cut, or whatever, having a pay cut at all, then they will let you come in the Army at a higher rank, like at a major, lieutenant colonel or something. I don't know how it exactly works, but otherwise there would be no point, right? If you're making great money as a civilian doctor, why in the hell would you come into the Army to be a lieutenant, making like $3,000 a month when you were making probably like $5,000 to $10,000 dollars a month before? So they have some kind of incentive for those situations, and I think that's the only situation that allows officers to come in at a higher rank as doctors. I'll do 100 push-ups anyways. Well, good. Strawberry. What are we at right now? 90? 10 more likes, guys. 10 more likes. We're probably about 10 minutes probably away from ending the stream, probably. So I need you to hit that like button for me. We got a goal. That way. Goal. 100 likes. We're only 10 away. There's probably 10 of you watching this stream right now that has not hit the like button, I would think. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Hit that like button. Because if you do, then I'll tell the drill sergeants to go easy on you in basic training. But if you don't, I'm going to tell them to smoke the dog crap out of you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just saying. Was it a good evening from Tucson, Arizona? Good deal. If you live in on-post housing, do you have to pay for rent, water, gas, and etc.? Not typically. I've heard of some places where they do charge you sometimes like a smaller rate because, I don't know, like I think you still get part of your BAS for your housing, and then you're supposed to use that for that. I don't remember. But for the most part, usually no. But you also don't get your basic allowance for housing. So that extra money that soldiers get for being married, they have that part of money. So if you live off-post, then you use that for paying for those things, for rent, for gas, utilities, all that kind of stuff. Where if you live on base, they take that from you. And you just don't pay any rent, don't pay any utilities or whatever. So it kind of works out in the end. So you don't get to like live on post housing and go and get that extra BAH kind of a thing. You still get BAS, you still get that, but you won't get the BAH if you live on post. I live next door, literally, like to my house, because I'm gonna highly doubt that, because I know other people are that live next door to me, and I don't think their last name is Rodriguez. I don't think. I don't know, unless you live in one of the houses behind me or something like that. I don't know. Oh man, how far behind am I in the chat? Here's the entries into the giveaway. So let's jump down. Okay, since we're gonna be into the stream pretty soon, anyways, let me get to some of the last few stuff. You haven't plugged your merch store in a while? I mean, I don't have anything new. You need some new Chaos swag? I mean, it's still the same Chaos shirts. Chaos shirts don't really sell that much. Sorry. Sad. But it's alright. I don't even make much off of them anyways, but I just think they're cool. I make them available at a fairly cheap price. I think I only make like $1 something per shirt. So I don't make much off of it. But it's more about like, I think it'd be cool if I one day ran into somebody wearing a Chaos shirt, which has not happened yet, but I think that'd be pretty cool if there was like one day when I was like at the mall or at Walmart or Target or a restaurant or something like that, and then see someone walk in or walking around with a Chaos shirt would be awesome. But yeah, go buy a Chaos shirt down below. They're fairly cheapish, I guess. The cheapest you can pretty much make them for the most part. See an ACR patch on your uniform, but can't make out the unit. Second or third? Third. So this guy? This guy? When they were in Fort Carson, I was in third ACR. What do we at? 102. Hey, we made it. All right, I was looking at the like thing. Cool. It's a good deal. I saved you guys some push-ups, right? I say that if you are going off to basic training within the next 6 months, you should do the 100 push-ups regardless. You don't have to do them all at once. You can break it up in increments of 25. Do 25 now, maybe wait an hour or two and do another 25, and then wait a little bit and then do another 25 until you get to 100. Kind of a thing. But for those of you that aren't in that situation, you're saved. You can be push-up free unless you want to, and you just want to better your body and get into better shape. Then by all means, do 100 push-ups. But thank you guys for making it to 100 likes, making it to our like goal. Now we got to make it to our subscription goal of 100,000. So make sure you subscribed. And then also my goal of not working anymore. So donate $100,000, and then we'll be. No, just kidding. even if you were rich, I wouldn't want you to waste your money on something like that. That'd be not a thing you should do. Just better ways you could spend $100,000. That's it. Petition was it to let Little Chaos run a stream? Be expected to talk about. She wouldn't answer any of your questions very well, probably at all. She want to talk about poop. Would probably be one thing of many. Maybe unicorns and mermaids. A lot of times she'd be staring at herself in the monitor, so the stream would look like this. She'd be like really close up to the mic, but probably blowing it out and talking, and just be looking at over here at herself. And this is what the stream would look like. She'd just be looking at herself the whole entire time, not looking at the camera. So I don't know how good of a stream. I don't think you get a whole lot of education out of that. Don't sell out, Chris. I don't sell out. I enjoy the extra money if someone wants to sponsor the stream, but it's got to be worth my time. But I also have times when the product is some crappy product, and I won't want to do a sponsorship for something like that. I've had people that want to do like sponsorships for like their Amazon store or for things that just don't make sense for me to do a sponsorship for, so I don't do a sponsorship for those kind of things. Yeah. She would answer great questions, Jesse says. It's the lighting that she loves. I think she likes looking at herself. She likes the microphone, but she doesn't like it if she can't hear herself. So she'd want to be able to hear herself. So I'd have to plug the headphones in and turn the monitor on so that you can hear yourself in the headphones. And then she'd be staring at herself the whole entire time. I was in first AD during Desert Storm following second ACR. They devastated the Republican Guard 73rd East Team. Okay, good deal. All right, a few more questions, and we're going to be ending the stream. So get in your questions here, guys. We're going to do a few more, and then the stream's going to end. If you had a question that maybe you want to ask in private, maybe you just didn't get a chance to ask it, just definitely make sure you follow me on Instagram. There's a link down below to follow me, and you can shoot me a message from there, and I usually try to get back to you within less than a week. Sometimes it's within a few hours, sometimes it's a few days. I usually try to do less than a week. There's also the Discord channel, so that's free. You can join the Discord and interact with the community to talk about the Army, talk about fun stuff. There's all sorts of fun channels too, even if you want to link up with people and just play video games and chat with them through there, right? You can do that as well. So check out the Discord down below. If you have entered in the giveaway, make sure I have your email address registered kind of with your YouTube username. So that way, if I do draw your name, then I have an email address to send the gift card to. Because if I don't have an email address, there's no second chance for you to, hey, let me go send it real quick. Hang on. No, it's too late. So a few more questions, and we're gonna end the stream here shortly. If I ate some dessert in the DFAC before, sure. The ice cream was a good one. It's just ice cream, nothing special, but usually you can put it in whatever the hell you want. So if you want to put the ice cream inside of a big ass to-go cup, sometimes you can get away with that. It depends, I guess, how the DFAC's set up. So yeah, sure. DFAC dessert is good. It's fine. I can't. It's like when you guys use emojis in your questions, I can't see emojis in my little thing. So I'll have to read it off of here. What was this one here? Because see how like this is how it ends up showing up with emojis. It explains the emoji and it kind of gets confusing. To make in the army, you gotta have heart, never give up trust, your NCOs and your team player. I mean, that's what you gotta do. You gotta put a maximum effort into it all. Jay the Vorn's gotta run. All right. What's your favorite TV show? Either Walking Dead or Rick and Morty. Those are really the only shows I really watch. I mean, I'll watch like UFC fights and stuff, but as far as TV shows wise, my favorite ones is probably either The Walking Dead, even though it kind of went downhill a little bit, and then Rick and Morty is pretty awesome though. In basic training, what's the percentage of classroom and training? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd say the classroom portion, it's pretty close. It might be pretty close. I don't know. I don't want to give like some kind of bad number, but I want to say it's pretty close to being almost even in a way. I think there comes a point where you'll do less classroom stuff and you'll do more physical training, but I can't think of off the top of my head like what it might be. There's like kind of early, it seems like in basic training you'll do a lot of mixture of both. And then you'll get to another point where it'll be mostly physical training and outside training and not as much classroom training, kind of a thing. So I don't know a good number on that to give you any good heads up on that. Oh, what's the story behind the PX Ranger shirt? So that's a term they use in the Army for someone who is just getting out of work and just going off to the PX all the time, right? They are in the PX more than they are in the motor pool or in the training area or whatever. So we have this term PX Ranger for soldiers that spend a lot of time in the PX when they probably need to be at work. So that's the PX Ranger. That is a t-shirt available. ChristopherChaos.com/store, shirts, something like that. Go to the ChristopherChaos.com and there's a link to the merch area. Let's see. Why did I move to Colorado? I got stationed in Colorado. And then I just kind of stayed after I got out of the Army because I liked the area. So I chose Colorado because I couldn't get Fort Irwin, I couldn't get Fort Huachuca. So the third choice was Fort Carson to re-enlist for because my niece was here in the Air Force. So I'd have some family here. Plus I heard great stories about how great Fort Carson was in the area. So I chose Fort Carson. And then once I got out of the Army, I stayed here and got a job on Fort Carson instructing soldiers. And I like the area. I may at some point in time move to Las Vegas or Henderson, Vegas. Just outside of Las Vegas is Henderson. That may happen. I don't know. Or I might be here in Colorado Springs forever. Who knows? We have one last maybe question. Maybe. How's it going, Nathan? You showed up to the end of the stream. Looking to see if there's one more last good question for us to end on. We'll do this one, I guess. Why not? Here's the last question. Why did you want Irwin? Because I'm originally from California. It would have only been a 2-hour drive to my hometown of Bishop, California. So it would have been pretty easy for me to go home to visit family or them to come visit me. I just wanted to be kind of closer to family kind of a thing. So Irwin was what I went for. I'm actually probably glad that I didn't end up getting it because I've talked to people that have been stationed at Irwin, especially at 88 Mikes. You end up spending a lot of time in the field because you're supporting people doing National Training Center training, right, and at NTC. So you end up doing like a week on, week off, week on, week off, and some kind of crazy schedule. Sometimes 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Not really like 2 weeks off like you're on vacation, but like 2 weeks where you're not in the field, or 1 week where you're not in the field. You're just doing day-to-day normal stuff. So that would probably be pretty rough, I would imagine. It'd probably not be the greatest. I would probably, for the most part, most people I know that actually were stationed at Irwin, they said they spent a lot of time in the field. So that probably would kind of suck, probably. All right, guys, we're gonna end the stream. So I appreciate you guys. We managed to get past our goal of 100 likes. We had the entries into the giveaway, so good luck to all you guys that entered. Make sure that down the link below you register your email address with the who you are on YouTube type of thing. That way, if I draw your name on Halloween in the afternoon, that I know where to send the gift card. Otherwise, if you don't have an email on file, I don't know where to send the gift card. So I'm gonna pick somebody else. I don't keep those email addresses, so once the giveaway is done, I'm deleting that contact list, and I will no longer have your email address. If you do want to receive stuff, there is a separate thing that you can register for, which is the mailing list, for the Chaos mailing list. That's available on the website. I think there might be even a link down below for the mailing list, but you can register your email address for the mailing list and stay in contact with me. I need to work on that. I'm not too good at producing these things, so you rarely right now get emails from that, but I'd like to have it a little bit better of an incentive type of thing to be on the mailing list, to maybe get some early intel and all sorts of other fun stuff through the mailing list. So maybe if you want to join that. Follow me on Instagram, join the Discord channel, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you were chatting, you must be already. Hit that like button even though we made it past the goal. Whatever the case is. We'll be back next Sunday, and next Sunday will be the last opportunity for you to enter into the giveaway. And then the Sunday after that is Halloween, so that will be the giveaway live stream. And we'll do that in the afternoon, so that way you can still participate in Halloween festivities and still also participate in the live stream. So I'll probably put out something. Maybe it might be somewhere in the middle of the day. I don't know, but I'll put out some kind of official time when we get a little bit closer to that. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. Appreciate you guys. Christopher Chaos. See you next time. See ya!